Hey guys! Welcome to Recap Pro. In this video, I am gonna talk about the 2017 crime thriller, Bullet Head. As usual, there will be spoilers ahead, so take them with a grain of salt and let's get started. In the opening scene, we are in the perspective vision of an animal, and by the grunts, it seems to be a dog panting like crazy. From the looks of it, the dog is locked in a cage, and a man comes with a set of keys and a chained collar and takes the dog out. He then ties the collar around its neck and takes it towards some kind of a gathering, as is evident from the shouts and cries of the crowd. When the crows appear, we see that it is some kind of closed underground arena, and opposite our dog, there are two others held in place by their handlers, going crazy. The crowd keeps shouting "Kill him!" And suddenly the two opposite dogs are released, which immediately attack our dog, and the screen goes blank, leaving the situation to our imagination. The scene opens up with an abandoned warehouse, and a car suddenly crashes into the entrance. There are 4 men in the car, and a locked safe, the kind of stuff they put in banks, is shown to be with them inside. One of the men tries to wake the driver up, but he doesn't budge. They get down from the car and then one of them says that there are interstate police all over the area, and it would be best for them to hide in that warehouse. They enter the warehouse, and the lead criminal says that it was a municipal storage facility. He asks them if there was anyone who could help them out of the situation they were in when they say no one is. While walking, a younger criminal is saved by the man who was in front of him, from falling into a tar pit. The lead is seen talking to someone, saying it is a botched job, and it will take them some time to crack open the safe. We don't hear a lot of details, but at the end, the man says that their boss had said they were all over the news, and they should hold the fort on their own until the next day, or he needed hazard pay of 50% to risk rescuing them. Then it is revealed by the second man that the young guy is sick, and that he was dealing from drug withdrawal, due to which the guy made them risk the entire heist. The old man then gives some dope to the kid and he sets off to find a sink. The lead man goes to talk to the second man, whose name is revealed to be Walker. He tells Walker that he screwed it up, but Walker tells him that it wasn't his fault for picking out a kid, and they didn't even know what kind of a last score it was, a kind that served a life sentence, a kind which served bullets, or a kind from which you walk away. The man asks Walker what kind he was. Walker tells him about the last score he did when he was barely 25. It was a pet shop job, and Walker knew the store manager, who told him that there was going to be $5,000 in the safe that night. But when he cracked it down, feeling proud of himself, he saw that it was empty, and realized that the manager was a douche like everyone else, who blew the money up. So, to get at least a small gift for his daughter on Christmas, Walker stole a yellow tropical fish aquarium and then realized he could add other fish to it too. He started adding all fishes to it, placed it under the tree, and just fell asleep in front of it on a chair. He was woken up when his daughter screamed and saw that except for the tropical fish, all others were dead, because it was a saltwater tank, and the fish he added were freshwater fish. Walker then tells the man that he knew which tank he was in, but was unsure about the kid and asks the man to check him out before he posted a selfie on Instagram. Then we are again shown the perspective of the dog, which was attacked before. It is barely alive now, and the manager guy asks his henchman to put the dog down, but when he tries to, it gives him a nasty bite. He washes the wounds down and starts going toward the lockers when he hears growls and turns around. The screen goes blank in suspense. The kid rushes into a room and checks out if there was anything of use to him in the medical lockers when he hears something and goes to check in on what it was. Walker and the other thief come to check the kid out, but see that he stood at the end of the corridor, frozen by looking at something. When both men approach the kid, they see that at the end of the corridor, is a dangerous looking dog, standing upon a body that was bitten and torn apart. It starts chasing them, and the 3 of them manage to run away and lock themselves in a section. The lead man asks if anyone knew what kind of a dog it was, and Walker replies that he knew a guy who used to run fighting pits in this business, and they bounce from place to place after putting down the loser dogs, and this must be one of them. The kid then tries to go back, because he was facing the symptoms yet, and the drugs were on the side of the dog. He tries to force his way out, but then is punched out cold by the lead thief, who makes a plan to make it to the safe and stay the night. The lead's name is revealed to be Stacy, and Walker refuses to help Stacy in carrying the kid out through the fire escape, to which Stacy replies that he could carry the kid. Walker is told by Stacy that he would never shoot a dog, to which Walter jokingly replies that he never thought of Stacy as a cat person. Walker tells Stacy that being a cat lover doesn't make him less of a man and that cats are intelligent and independent and you don't have to pick their shit up. Stacy replies that he grew fond of dogs because of a truffle job. Walker makes fun of him by saying a chocolate job was there on which he worked. Then Stacy tells him that truffles were a type of mushrooms, which sell 100,000 per kilo. He knew a young ace chef who used to work with him at a joint while moonlighting as an armored truck stealer. Suddenly this kid ended up in a gourmet magazine and wanted him to get those truffles. He said that these were being auctioned at a high-security house, and the mushrooms were being transported chained to the hand of an ex-Mossad agent, but the auction manager decided to cut costs and put them in a regular storage unit. Stacy knew some farms which grew dogs that could smell these mushrooms out, and then he approached an owner who said he owned 2 of those dogs. The first dog barked at Stacy as soon as he tried to take her, so the farmer took him to the back of his garden to a cage since the dog wasn't housebroken. Walker thought it would be a Jack Russell, but it was a straight-out poodle. He then says that he knew the security guard who always used to sleep, and then started to make the dog sniff the mushrooms out. Much time passed, and he started thinking that he was getting conned when the dog struck gold, but then when he took the mushroom suitcases out, the watchman came over and was almost gonna shoot him, but suddenly he ran away after seeing the dog. That was the day when Stacy started preferring dogs over cats. He tells this to Walker and says that he even threw $200 in a dog salon to make the poodle's hair look fluff, and all because of the success. Stacy then stands up and looks around for the kid, but realizes that he disappeared from the fire escape and went after the drugs. We then see the kid roaming the hallways they came from in search of his dope, and he carefully and slowly looks at all the rows of lockers, checking for the sign of the mad dog, and picks up his bag. He then makes way towards the tar pit we saw earlier, drugs himself, and feels ecstatic. Because of the drugs, he gets high and sees a rabbit running across in another direction. He starts following it. Walter and Stacy shout the kid's name, and then spy on 2 police cars, which bring along a canine unit German Shepherd with them, and also 2 policemen armed with shotguns as a backup. Stacy says repeatedly that the kid betrayed them, and then the dog starts scanning the whole facility. When he gets close to our mad dog, he starts getting active, and the handler calms him down. The mad dog looks at Charlie, the German Shepherd, licking his handler, and for a moment we can see a twinge of emotion in the dog. When Charlie detects its presence and turns around, we see that it has already vanished, like Batman. The kid is still high and keeps following the rabbit when he reaches cages that are filled with poop and shit. Stacy and Walker fiddle around while waiting for the kid, when he finally starts banging on the closed door, asking them to let him in. Both of them then start removing all the furniture they used as barricades, and then suddenly the kid turns back as if he heard something. Then he hastily shouts at them to let him in again. When Stacy opens the door and tells him if he pulled something like this again, he would stay out. Suddenly, the mad dog attacks from the shadows and bites the kid. He starts chasing Walker, and then Stacy, who climbs onto a high pillar and manages to escape by climbing out the fire escape, while Walker walks out of the room and closes the doors. They start looking at the kid, and Walter says that he had a broken rib, but he'd be alive. The dog is shown to scan the entire room, and it finds the staircase leading outside the room. It climbs up, and then Stacy notices it at the top and asks both the others to run. We then see a glimpse of the mad dog in its prime, being forced by the people who run the fighting pits, to take on a full-grown dog twice its size, just for the kicks. Walker and Stacy start treating the kid's bite wounds when they discover the betting sheet of the dog fights. They see the name of a dog who was fighting pairs and still winning, which Walker calls a real tough dog, and then they realize that the sheet was from the night before. They ask the kid if he was a dog or a cat person, and he tells them a sad story of his dog, which his drunk dad killed when he found out. He then goes into a room and kills himself by overdosing. Walker and Stacy find out the dog fight money stashed behind a pin-up covered door, and decide to steal the money. Stacy then sees the kid, who was dead, and then they decide to leave, when we are shown Stacy's flashbacks, in which his girlfriend leaves him. Walker shows Stacy his broken ribs when Stacy decides to go kill De Niro, the mad dog. We are shown De Niro's perspective of the time when his handler tries to put him down. There is a pile of dead dogs in the corner. Stacy chances upon that pile, and finds De Niro sitting there. He also happens to have the handler's keys, which makes De Niro attack him. The next thing which happens is a chase across the facility, in which Stacy manages to pin De Niro beneath wooden furniture. But he takes pity on the dog and then frees him from the load, and De Niro runs away. He takes Walker out and makes him sit in the truck parked outside when the boss of the dogfighting pits comes to the place and sees them. He sees Stacy carrying his money and starts shooting at them, due to which Walker gets killed, while shielding Stacy. The man pursues Stacy while shooting at him. The man then tells him a story of how he shot his neighbor because his neighbor's dog used to make his mom cry all the time, and tells him to hand over the money. He runs away again and manages to get cornered by the man. De Niro then comes face to face with the boss, who gets a flashback of how he found De Niro and then tries to shoot him when De Niro jumps on him and starts tearing him apart. The man manages to shoot it thrice. De Niro and Stacy reach out for each other, and Stacy consoles the dog in its final moments. Stacy's girlfriend is then shown on the beach, when Stacy is shown again, approaching her, with a lookalike pup of De Niro. That's it for today, guys. How was the movie? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, do subscribe to the channel, and have a great day. I shall see you in the next video.